Chef Jennifer Johnson, and today we're going to talk about oil. So typically, I tend to use oils that do not change chemical composition when they are heated. So I stay away from the safflower, the cottonseed oil, and all of those things. There are, as you know, there's tons of oil out there. So you see this list is a page from my book that talks about the different smoke points of the different oils. Typically, once an oil has been at its smoke point for at least 10 minutes, that's when it starts to change chemical composition, and some change to the fatty acids that clog our arteries, or some they just change to a different thing, and so they're not necessarily as healthy as they were originally intended. So to use like a safflower oil or a sunflower oil or cottonseed oil in a or canola oil in a salad where you're not going to heat the oil, perfectly fine. That's the way nature intended it to be used. For me, I spend most of my time using olive oil. So this is one of the olive oils that I do use. Just so you see, this one happens to be from Tunisia. I use some from Italy, some from Greece, a lot from Israel, where olives are very highly cultivated. Anyways, I use the squeeze bottles because if I use a lot of something, then I love the squeeze bottle because I have more control over the oil versus how it globs out of the container there. I can put my hand over the top of it, and I use these squeeze bottles for all sorts of things like dressing or marinades or something to decorate a plate, but I just love the squeeze bottle items. So back on track. So olive oil I typically use the most. I use it with meat, a variety of different things. Use it with a lot of vegetables. Now, one thing I do do naturally is I tend to take and heat the pan really high with the oil in it, and then add the items to it as soon as it starts to spark, because then it sears the outside of the item versus if you heat it up with the item, with the food in it, onions or mushrooms or whatever, it tends to boil them in the oil versus making them nice and sauteed on the outside and nice and crisp. There are different versions of the olive oil. So here is one that I got from in Santa Barbara. It has basil infused in it, so I typically use it in the more Italian type dishes when I make an eggplant parmesan or things like that. And then here's one with a lemon in it. I will take and use it with fish, especially a white fish, or I guess a red fish. I'll do it as well because there's some oil that is going to be in there that it just kind of infuses it very well. And then for barbecuing, I typically use a grapeseed oil because it sticks to the container better, or it sticks to the barbecue better, and it allows the meat to come off more flexibly with the barbecue. Now, something I use on occasion is white truffle oil. I use it in salads, or I use it in some vegetables. It is very, very nice. Or I typically use it in pasta. It's a very, very good once you've taken and added that Parmesan to it, and then add the white truffle oil to it. Very yummy. When I cook Asian food, I will use a peanut oil. This one happens to be from Spectrum. It is a non-GMO verified type of peanut oil. And then actually the oil that is the love of my life right now, but it is kind of expensive to use, is an avocado oil. It is the highest smoke point. It doesn't change chemical composition as much as other oils do. However, like I said a minute ago, it is kind of expensive. So anyways, I typically, like I said earlier, I typically stay away from the oils that are not as healthy for you once they've been heated up, and I stick towards these guys in order to make my food, of which olive oil still is one of my favorites, and sometimes I even use olive oil in desserts versus using other kinds of oil. Oh, one I did not put in here is coconut oil. So coconut oil I use a great deal when I'm doing desserts, when it's a sweeter type of dessert, especially doing vegan dishes. I use a lot of coconut oil. Coconut oil, if you ask my girlfriend, she would say that coconut oil is a superfood. She puts it in her hair, she uses it for lotion. I even make a coconut oil and raw sugar exfoliant for my hands. So as soon as I'm done washing my dishes, I will take and put that on my hands, rub it off, and then just hot water, put it off. It puts the moisture back in my hands. It's fantastic. So yes, I use coconut oil a lot for vegan dishes, for sweeter dishes, and then also for some more ethnic type food. So if I do Hawaiian food or if I do Caribbean food, I will use the coconut oil because it just adds that very interesting coconut flavor to it. It adds a brightness to the food, and it's just a fantastic oil to use all around. Anyways, that is my thing for the day, and I hope that you guys have a fantastic weekend. And I think that we're going to do almond cake next, but I haven't quite decided, so maybe we'll figure out some other things to do, some weekend food, and then next week when we get into the week we'll do some almond cake. Anyways, have a fantastic day. I'm glad to see you here, and I look forward to spending more time with you. Take care.